Let's see how many are there. Okay, now we just wait. Let's see. Not till 1 o'clock, so you still have, yeah, 12:56. That's good. Good afternoon. We have one people in the chat. Let me see here. I started a little bit early today, so I can get everything ready for people that are coming in and we can get the conversation going. Let's see. Okay, 1 o'clock. Now we wait. Now we wait for the people to come. It is better to be early than to be late. I don't know who is going to be on stream. Maybe I got lucky last time. We had like 6 people that were in the chat. Okay, now we're just waiting for the countdown. Sometimes I do wonder, what if I'm in the chat room all by myself? Should I talk or should I not? Because when making a video, it's similar. I hold the camera even though no one is watching on the other side, but I still think the camera is my friend. So, any of the new people that are starting out afraid to make that first video, think of the camera as your friend. At first, it is going to be awkward, but then again, you do it time and time again, it will only get easier. Okay, 1 o'clock, and here we are. Dang, I've been in the chat by myself for about 6 minutes now. We'll see. Let's see who's gonna show up for the chat today. the reason why I want to wait for people so we can have a proper introduction. I want to know where people are from and this live stream. What do people want to get out of it? For me, I just want to share my personal experience because I follow the space. Nothing I say today is going to be a financial advice, but I have been following the space for a while, and it is good to hear from people mistakes, because a lot of the time we tend to listen to all these success stories and sometimes you lose yourself. The best thing is listen to both sides, the successful and the not so successful and the terrible. Okay. 101 on my end. I wonder how long this is going to carry. Anyway, let me double check here to see if I posted on X. But let's see here, gang gang. Hey, I can see myself. For some reason, oh, because I'm watching myself. Okay. Because when I hit on X, I have one. Oh, where's the camera? So there's one watching, which is me. So I'm watching me. That's pretty cool. Now let's leave the live stream. It should go back to 0. By the way, this is my second time streaming. I figure eventually, you know, I have to learn. Might as well just get used to it for now, and then we will go from there. Um, Hello there, one person. I wonder if that's me. No. Now we wait. I will leave that on for now. Be right back. Ugh. Ow. Ooh, yee. Ooh la la. Wow, this is so awkward. So this is what it feels like to be live streaming all by yourself. Should I continue or should I not? I shouldn't, because that will defeat the purpose of live streaming, right? And usually the first live stream, second, third, fourth, fifth, this is the emotion that we all have to go through. What do we do in a room with nobody and we're constantly talking to ourselves? So let's see. Start anyway, because once you enter the chat room, then we can continue the conversation. But for now, I will go ahead and share my personal journey of crypto so far so that even if you're not watching right now, you can always go back to the live stream and watch it later. So I don't sound like a crazy person. Anyway, I started my crypto journey Back in 2017, I remember when I was on Coinbase, there was only Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And at the time, I was very, very skeptical to the point where I put in a lot of effort to learn what is cryptocurrency because I'm a tangible kind of guy. I learned about the gold, like tangible assets like real estate, gold, silver, and it was a big jump for me to learn about digital assets. And then I started learning about money, like what is money. And like I've said in the previous video, I think Dr. Ron Paul, taught me about the Federal Reserve, the money printing, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, I didn't care much because I was a party kind of guy, party goer. I didn't care. It was in the back of my head. And I believe this was during college. Anyway, I started learning about it. Put in a couple of like $100 here, $100 there, $50 here, $50 there, and I remember it went when I first bought it. It was around like 3,800, and then a couple of months later, it went up to 20K. And at that time, I was like, man, I'm a genius. I will never sell. I will never sell. Boom! The next couple of years, it's we went into a bear market and worked my butt off, pay off the debt, la la la. And then fast forward to today, some of the things that I want to share with you. If you are going to go into the crypto space, first of all, try to understand what is money because we use it on a daily basis. And the first thing of owning an asset is how to secure it. With digital money, when you leave it on an exchange, or when you leave it on an exchange and you don't put it on your hardware wallet, then it's similar to having cash in your pocket, but is in someone else's wallet. And I've learned this at a very early stage because I remember back then I wasn't into this whole space, but from watching YouTube, like people were not people, but exchanges were hacked, and people that left their money on these exchanges, they also lost their money, which is really unfortunate. So at an early age, I've learned to store it on a hardware wallet. Second, when it comes to investing, are you the type of person that has money, or are you investing so that you can grow like the majority of people in the space? I would say about 70% of the people in this space, when they go into Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, they or I fall into this category. We want to multiply our money. Not a lot of people can buy Bitcoin at under a cent and hold it all the way to now, which is like we're at 100,000 per Bitcoin, because throughout that journey of holding, it's kind of like a roller coaster. It goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. We call it the bear market and the bull market. And I think the bull market happens every 4 year. So you have to establish, okay, are you the kind of person that have money and just leave it there? Or are you the kind of person that will sell when it gets to a certain price action? And the other thing that I've learned is that in this space, I remember back then it was so simple. It was just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And usually the Bitcoin maxis and the Ethereum maxis, what they do is they fight back and forth and basically each other. Bitcoin is a proof of work, and then Ethereum is a proof of stake. Ah, if you don't know what that means, I don't know what that means. You got to look it up, okay? But everyone was calling each other a scam. And it becomes tribal. And if you're in this space and you become tribal, then you become angry. I was a Bitcoin maxi because I believe in free money. I believe, money is freedom and there shouldn't be restriction. Similarly, putting your money in the bank whenever you need to use it, then you use it. You don't need to ask for permission. And to me, that was the whole concept of Bitcoin: decentralized network, peer to peer transaction, permissionless. What else? Um, Freedom money, bank, the unbanked, meaning that anyone with a wallet can receive Bitcoin and spend it. So when you become a Bitcoin maxi, when you become an Ethereum maxi, a Litecoin maxi, looking back then and now, this space have came so far. Now we have like 20,000 plus coins, but some of them are actually legitimate. And I think what is happening in the crypto space right now is pretty much the tokenization of the stock market to crypto. Basically, they people are trying to take what is happening with the stock market, like when you buy a share, is similar to buying a coin, but then it's going to be on chain, like a public ledger. So practically, e- especially with Bitcoin, because it is a public ledger, people think that, oh, only criminals use Bitcoin. That's not true. Every transaction that is made on a ledger can be tracked, tracked, traced, and we don't know who the wallet belongs to, but eventually people know. So everything is becoming public, which I think is a good thing, but then to a certain degree, there has to be some sort of privacy as well. It's like and walking around with a wallet, and everyone knows how much money you have in your wallet. I mean, you and I, we wouldn't go on our day to day exposing how much we carry in our wallet. Otherwise, people will try to rob us if they know that we have a lot of money. Anyway, if you decided to be a maxi, I mean, it's great and all. It seems like, every chain, like Bitcoin chain, Ethereum chain, Solana chain, AVAX chain, there has to be believers. But you, my friend, specifically, are you in it to make the money, or are you in it to be tribal, to be angry at other people? Because I've seen a lot of nonsense. I mean, all of these chains that I just mentioned, there are some good good project going on. And if you're in it to make the money, then stick with the bull market, the bear market trend, and then when it goes up, then sell. Because a lot of the time, the maxis, they will never sell, especially the Bitcoin people. When I first started, they were like, never sell, never sell. And, you know, sure, it is a great strategy when you don't need money. But do you know what is worse? Forced sale. It means when you are forced to sell, and at that time the price could be at its lowest, and you have to get rid of your Bitcoin or crypto. And I've been there. I'm sharing you my journey, not a financial advice, but these are just some of the very basic things that you can do for yourself. You have to establish where are you and why do you want to get into the crypto space and who to follow. I've mentioned this in my last video. I've been on Twitter for about 2 years now. Before that, I wasn't. But some of the people that if you go on my X page and just follow some of the people that I'm following on there. There are two types of people that I have that I'm currently following. The um, the privacy pages or people, and then the Bitcoin and crypto people. And the reason why I said Bitcoin and crypto rather than bundle everything together is because there is separation, right? There is separation, meaning, in my opinion, Bitcoin is decentralized, meaning that the networks are scattered all over the world. And then with Ethereum, very centralized. It's like they have a network, but they have little amount of validators. And when you have little amount of validators, at any time they can freeze your transaction. So in a way where I do see the separation between Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto space. Now, the next point, my friend, is you have to acknowledge it is very similar to a casino. It is a casino in a way. Sure, there are good projects, but then at the end of the day, it is very similar to Pumpfun. If you watch my video for Pumpfun Livestream, it's kind of like that. So with meme coin, especially on Pumpfun, when a coin is created, it represents, let's say, a company. And when you have a good company that's doing all the hard work, but then at the same time, the tokens are, or the tokens were created, and it was, let's say the token was created and it's being distributed out to the KOLs, like cryptocurrency marketers, and then they get paid. Hey, if you promote this coin, usually they pick someone with a lot of followers, and you pay them certain amount, and they will promote the coin, and then it will get everyone into the crypto space, and then it goes up. The people that are holding the KOLs, the dev, they sell, and the coin goes down. The problem with that, my friend, is that all of these KOLs, when they promote the coin, they will tell you, hey, this is a very good project. We're doing this, we're doing that. And they're not lying. They're telling you half truth. The the other part that they're not telling you is that they're promoting it to get you in so you, my friend, can become the exit liquidity. And it goes back to if you're able to hold it long term, because some of these coins, if based on the bear and bull market cycle, if you're able to hold it for 4 years or more, eventually the bull market will come around and then it will go up again. But a lot of the coins don't. So that's why it is also important to establish good coins and scam coins, right? So that is what happened with Pumpfun, but it's also very similar to when a company created a token. The same process. Now with Ethereum, because Ethereum was very dominant, if you are not tech savvy, you're not a dev, most likely you don't know how to create a coin, and I'm in that category. With Ethereum, if I understand correctly, now this is purely my opinion and to the best of my knowledge. But what happened was the dev on the Ethereum blockchain, because at the time there was no competition other than Bitcoin. So the dev would create a coin, then they distribute it out to the venture capitalists, investors, right? And these people have money. These people have money, and they would get it for very, very cheap, a cent on a dollar. And then what happened is now they have all these people, you know, the distribution is done. You get all the VCs, you get all the dev, and then after that, you have all the KOLs, and then they start promoting the project. So there are many steps, right? And by the time it gets to the regular people like you and I, and we buy in because of the KOLs or the marketers, then the people, the the dev, the venture capitalists, the KOLs, they start selling, and it makes sense, right? Like we become the exit liquidity. Now, Pump Fund is different because anyone can create a coin. Like you don't have to be tech savvy to create a coin. You can just create a coin. However, oh, I forgot to mention on the Ethereum blockchain, you have to pay humongous amount of fees when you make a transaction, and especially when the traffic is heavy, meaning that there are a lot of transactions that are happening, the fee can go up to a couple hundred, even couple $1,000, right? And compare that to Bitcoin, it depends. Some I've seen $20 transaction, I've seen $40, but in my I have never seen $100 transaction on Bitcoin. Even if you transfer like 1 million, I haven't seen it. Maybe because I've never transferred that much amount. But usually, if you transfer anywhere from less than 10,000, usually the fee is going to be $50 or under. But with Ethereum is a little bit different. It's going to be really high depending on the time of the day, the traffic, and it makes sense. And then Solana came along. Solana is supposed to be the speed, the transaction speed. So with Bitcoin is very slow. um, when I first started, I think sometimes it took 15 to 20 minutes, but on average it was about 30 minutes. But I think it might be less now, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know, haven't used Bitcoin in a long time. Ethereum is pretty fast now. I think less than within 15 minutes. It depends on where you're transferring. And then Solana, it's almost instant, almost like a credit card. When you use a credit card, the transaction happen instantly. So Pumpfun was created on the Solana blockchain. Before I go on, I do want to mention, for example, Ethereum has its own blockchain. And then people can create an ERC20 tokens. Any dev can create the ERC20 tokens. Think of Ethereum as a platform or an iPhone, right? A platform, iPhone. Anyone can go in there and create an app like an iPhone. And if you think of it in a platform sense, then people use the Ethereum platform to create utility. They call it utility tokens. And with Solana is the same thing. But the speed on Solana is off the hook. Okay. So when Pumpfun came along, it made it easier for everyone. There's no more dev, there's no more venture capitalists, regular people like you and I can invest in it. But the problem we're facing is human nature. Human nature means greed. We do whatever it takes to win. And in my opinion, the same playbook as if Ethereum. People would create a coin, the same concept, KOL, dev KOLs. They kind of exclude the venture capitalists, but now they have KOLs, and KOLs will straight up promote the coin. And then I am live, right? I don't want to be talking for like 30 minutes. But anyway, they it is so much easier to create a coin on Pumpfun, but then we run into the same problem, meaning the dev would create a coin, then they get all the KOLs and then promote the coins, and then you and I, when we hear it from all of these KOLs that are paid for, we listen to them and we buy the coin, then they ended up dumping on us. So, in a way, it is better because everything is so much convenience, everything is easier, but the human nature aspect is the same. And I remember when Pumpfun first came along, people have done some crazy thing to pump their coin. I think the live stream did happen, but for some reason, because there were a lot of stupidity on there, like people were smoking crack, people lit themselves on fire, people did some really weird things to get attention, because meme coins or cryptocurrency is all about narrative and attention. So when you have the attention, whoever's watching, right? What happened is they would buy the coin and it would pump. And it once it pumped, then they sell. So it's the same concept. It's just the way that it's being marketed to people is not sincere, in my opinion. It's not sincere because you cannot tell your followers, hey, this is a good project and I want you to make money. I will keep it simple. You can't tell your followers, hey, this is a good project, buy it. And then when you say it to your when you said it to your follower and you ended up dumping on them, then that is not sincere, right? And I understand with marketing, it's in business, in meme coins, in the crypto space, we spend so much time marketing. We don't focus on the product. Because if we focus on the product, then we don't have to spend that much time and effort into the marketing. It will do the marketing by itself. And that is where I'm very skeptical of promoting Pumpfun Livestream, right? Because and let me remind you, this whole time, the creator of Pumpfun became a billionaire, and usually they collect the fees. Now I don't know if who were the people that the inside. I don't know who are the insider, but there was insider trading. There were scams, meaning that like sometimes people created a coin, they're promoted, and instantly they dump it. If you are in the pump fund space, my friend, holding onto a coin, even a good project, they will dump on you because it's so much easier to create a coin. They're not gonna stick around, try to promote it, and that will benefit the company, right? Everyone's in it for the money. That's what you have to understand about this space. Everyone is in it for the money. So less than 1% of the people, myself in that group, 99% lost money. I'm in that category. Less than 1% made money. So the business model is unbalanced, right? Like, and for whether he's a founder or a co-founder, I don't know. I'm assuming is founder. Correct me if I'm wrong. I follow this space at a very surface level, right? But to become a billionaire, to have all these fees, I mean, there has to be. I don't want to speculate, but all of the all the KOLs are getting paid to, and then all the dev that are creating the coins, it's all about the transaction because regardless of what's happening, as long as people create the coins, as long as KOLs promote the coins, as long as their transaction, then they're gonna make money, and fine, right? But the business model is not sustainable. And when it comes to live stream on Pumpfun, I feel like the first time when live stream came along, it was a bad experience for everyone. And I think it got taken off for a while because it was bad, right? It means that like it was harmful for the space and the people that live stream. It's so crazy that people are willing to do anything to get attention. So bizarre to me. But anyway, so in my video, I've mentioned Pumpfun live stream. At first, I thought it was going to be the same thing. Like people going to do stupid shit. They're gonna do whatever to get the attention, and I do believe that. But this time is different. There are actually leaders that are stepping up and try to steer the live stream, the Pump Fun live stream, in the right direction, meaning content creators are getting rewarded. We want content that can bring value to people, not just grab attention, right? Sure, there are all kind of people, and you never know what people are willing to do for attention, but let's leave the minority aside, because if you were to build a platform, you want to attract content creators that can bring value. Even if we go into a bear market, all of these valuable content creators will still make money for you. And if you have a business model that can sustain in the long run, whether that is 5 years from now, 10 years, 20 years from now, you're getting paid, okay? But if we think short term, just promote degeneracy on the platform and then leaving the real content creators behind in the shadow, then it's going to be short term. In my opinion, it's better to make money in the long term. Just look at Google, just look at Facebook, look at YouTube. So it is similar to a business. You want to incentivize people that are bringing value to the company so that the company can be more valuable. But if you're the leader and you just want to make short term gains, then it's okay. It's your business. You do whatever you want to do. But I do believe that 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 this space, people are very well connected, and I think for you to make it, to a billion, to become a billionaire, it means that you're smart. It means that you're a business person. You're like, okay, we're gonna do this the right way. And I I'm very positive in a way. It just when Pumpfun first came out, I've had bad experience with it. That's why I'm sharing you what I've learned. And the reason why I'm positive about it is because whether we like it or not, if you are in the crypto space, my friend, like people start buying land, people start buying real world assets. Like there are coins that represent that are pegged to the real world. And I know it sounds crazy, but eventually all of our identities, right, is going to be online. Think of NFT. During that era, like people bought a piece of rock for like over $1 million, and then we have all of these JPEG that kind of represent the Ethereum OGs. Then I think Bitcoin has it too, but don't quote me on it. But I'm giving you a very basic concept that everything we do is going to be digital. Everything is going to be online, and we we want something that represent us, our identity, and I think it's going to happen. This, my friend, is why live stream is important, because imagine you have a brand like myself. For example, I have the Gazillionaires Club. It's a personal brand for me. It's my reputation. If I were to create a coin, by the way, disclaimer, I do have an account with Pumpfun. I did create a coin, but again, do not buy, do not buy, do not buy. Why? Because when I created the coin, I didn't buy any of the supply. And like I said, I'm not a tech savvy, but at the very bottom of the message, the bottom, it says, hey, if you buy a small amount of your coin, the chances of being sniped is lower. Meaning, sniping in cryptocurrency means when you created a coin, like they have all of these bots that if the coin meets certain criteria, then the bot will show it to whoever is using the bot. And what they do is they buy a large supply. So the moment the token is bonded, meaning that it can go public, because the coin has to reach certain amount of of valuation for the coin to be bonded for it to be public. And the moment, like let's say that I'm extremely, I have decent amount of followers, right? And when I live stream or when I use my personal brand, and then if the coin goes public, chances are it's gonna go up, right? And the people who snipe the coin, they're gonna instantly sell. And then that would look really bad on my reputation because people bought the coin because of my personal brand, of my reputation. And if if you instantly, or the people that snipe the coins or whoever, they instantly dump it on my followers, it's not it's not the kind of reputation I want to have. And like I said, building a personal brand is a life reputation, and it can take a second to break, my friend. That is why if you are in the business of building your personal brand, because I'm talking about a lifetime. I'm not talking about a day, month, or years, right? I'm talking about a lifetime. I see myself doing this for the rest of my life until I can't do it anymore. Who would have thought I used to be that guy afraid of the camera? Now that I got the hang of the camera, I love the camera, but I don't get on the camera for my personal ego, or am I? But I get on camera because I want to document my journey. I want to share valuable lessons that I've learned along the way so that you can start your journey. I do feel that everyone is creative, everyone is unique in a different way, and sometimes life, fear, we don't reach our full potential. And the fact that I've been there and I'm able to document everything so that you can see it, I I hope you can start yours, right? My journey, I share my personal journey not for you to follow me, but for you to find yours. But do connect with me though. I mean, if you're the video kind of person, you're the live stream kind of person, connect with me. I cannot imagine myself live streaming. Not in 1,000 years. 1,000 years, we've only been here for what? I think the average lifespan, at least in America, I feel like because I worked at the retirement home, and usually people are in the 90s. But when I was in Vietnam and I talked to people, like people, the life expectancy over there is around 80 or in the 80s. So about 10 years, difference, but whatever. Let's just say 100 globally. So, dang it, lost my train of thought again. But anyway, let's go back. We were talking about life expectancy. So, let's see if I can remember. I know it's kind of weird to do it on live stream, but I was talking about life expectancy. That's what happened when you get nervous and you get on live stream. I'm not really nervous, but sometimes if I talk to you face to face, then it's not going to be a problem. But sometimes, but right now, the fact that I'm live streaming my second time, I still have it in the back of my head, like, who's watching? Even even when I make video, like I'm okay with making video when like when I walk, I kind of get used to it. But right now, forgive me if I lose my train of thoughts. But let's go back to the I guess personal branding. I see myself do this for the rest of my life. And the thing with me, I think I am where I am today, or still where I am. I could have gone much further, but then when I first, for me, it has to be the right company. It has to be the right people. It has to be, what are we doing for humanity? How are we moving this space forward, right? And when I first started, I've learned things about people, about businesses, and then the COVID came, and then the polarization of the US, and then the politics, and even human nature. I'm literally at a point where, like, I trust no one. And when I said that, I don't mean it lightly, but I also don't let it get to me. That's why I spend a lot of time by myself. Um, I treat everyone with love, with but but trust is a different word, right? Trust, especially when it comes to money, power, greed, blah blah blah. So I'm not where I want to be yet. Eventually I'll get there. And I do see myself getting there. But it has to bring values. Like when you run a company, there you like, what is your company doing for the people, right? And the reason why I'm talking about Pumpfun Livestream is because I see the potential. It just, I have no influence whatsoever. Um, and but I don't lose hope because the people that I follow on X, like these are good people, like people that are willing to have a conversation. Like if you go and follow the people on my page, like for example Solana, right? I have a couple of people on there. I think Mert and then Solana Sensei. Like these people are legitimately want to help Solana go to the next level, where is like they're actually building a whole new monetary system. Um, and you can debate. They're very knowledgeable about the things that they do, and they have a sense of humor. And the thing is, they're sincere. Uh, and the reason why I feel they're sincere, a lot of these accounts that I follow, sure, they might be anonymous, they might have an avatar, you might have no idea who they are, but over time, it's it's more of the energy. Like it's kind of like when you go out and you meet people in the street, you don't know who's honest, you don't know who is not, but once you get to know them and you listen to them, like over time, you kind of have an idea who they are. But these people are very up for a debate to answer questions. If you have anything that you want to know, they're very sincere about it. And then I also have people that trade, like people that trade cryptocurrencies. They they know how to recharge. They are sincere about the things that they say. Sure, everything is probability. And if you want to learn about this space, I think that's a very good start. Like I listen to the people I follow for information, but I always make my own decision when it comes to my personal money, right? Because first of all, where we get our information is important. Second is how to separate the noise from the noise. Oh my god, what is that word? The From the signal. You want the signal. You don't want the noise because a lot of this crypto space, my friend, I've said it before, it is a casino, and you have to follow the right people and listen to them. And if you have any questions, you are curious about moving this space forward, like like me, right? I'm a nobody, but the thing is I'm able to get on live stream. I'm able to make jokes with them on X, you know, being philosophical. And sometimes if I have concerns, I just straight up go on their page and just ask. A lot of these people, like if you know them for a long time, the people with a sense of humor usually they don't get mad. If you have a sense of humor but you're being respectful, it's okay. You know, we all have a sense of humor. They don't take it personal. But if you are serious about helping, building, these are some of the people that you should get with, right? That's the good thing about social media is that you can be a nobody and able to talk to people that know what they do, that have status in society, that it's like a direct contact. To me, that is gold. Because think about it. I don't have to go anywhere and I'm able to connect with the most smartest minds on the planet, and we're able to make jokes, we're able to say stupid shit, we're able to question one and another, legitimate the legitimacy of a project. Because believe it or not, a lot of these people, if you try to scam them, they will know, right? Like there's a reason why they are where they are, because they know their shit. So get on my X account and then just follow the people that I follow, and the link for all of my social media should be in the description. I don't have any social media outside of the links that I post in the description. I don't have any alternative account. That is all I have. Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X. And I only use one name and one name only. I have no time to create another name to be anonymous. I mean, my life is public. But my friend, I see the positive thing with Pumpfun Livestream because it helps for people with a good reputation. It helps with businesses. Um, Kind of like a stock, right? Facebook has stock, Apple, Microsoft. Um, yeah, I mean, whatever you can think of, it's similar to that. Is imagine you having your coin, or your company has a coin, and base. I don't know about you, but I'm very optimistic, right? I'm optimistic, but I also raise my concerns. Like for example, I love technology. If you know me, like I'm an outdoor kind of person. I've spent money when it comes to like outdoor technology. Like for example, I have the Casio watch that can tell me the compass, the barometer, the altimeter, and it's all. I've had it for over what I think close to 10 years now. I bought it when I was I remember I don't remember, but I think it about to be 10 years, and that thing is still with me. Like when you watch some of my YouTube videos, you can see me wearing the watch. I still have it, and I remember I spent money on tents, on stove. These are all of like outdoors technology and stuff like that. And now that I'm into like video editing and video recording, I love the camera. I love the laptop. I start learning about. I love technology. I actually support technology, but I do raise my concerns. Like for example, with privacy issue, right? We know that personal data are being sold, bought, hacked, and I've mentioned in the video. Sure, you might think that you're a nobody and you don't care. It's kind of like saying, do you want people to watch you 24/7, right? It's the same concept. And the thing is, you might think that you live in a civil society, but what happened when your enemy or another or a foreign country have access to all of that data? Like, imagine they know everything about you, right? And I'm not saying that we are heading to the Minority Report era. If you've seen the movie Minority Report, my friend, it is a wild movie. And then I think the other movie is I, Robot. But I like these fiction films, especially films about the future, because whenever a film is a production with many minds combined, when they wrote it, either is already happened or is going to happen. That's how I see it. And during COVID, right? I guess people that were outspoken, people that were going against the system, they all of the services such as Uber, Airbnb, social media, uh, and I got this from Andrew Tate, by the way. He mentioned it, and it's not just him. I like the services like Airbnb, Uber, blah blah blah, even banking. They banned them, but I know for a fact, social media they banned people left and right for speaking about COVID. Because I remember when COVID first came, my friend, there was a documentary. It's called Plandemic, and that was right at the beginning of COVID, and that documentary was taken off instantly. And this is nothing new. COVID showed me that hey, there is someone is controlling this matrix. Because for the longest time, I didn't care. You know, I just knew that the political system is kind of like behind closed door. Everyone knows each other. Everyone, like people were friends. But I did not know that how tight is being controlled, and it is global. So COVID really woke me up to a lot of things, even the businesses and and people in general. And then Trump came along where we're at right now. I used to be a Trump supporter. I don't support Trump anymore because I do feel like it is the same thing. Like it's always about the left versus the right, and then more laws, more regulations, more money printing. The country is going down the drain, more polarization. Um, he could have done what he promised on the campaign to bring the American people together, but we are more polarized than ever. It's the only person in my lifetime that I consider to be my president is Dr. Ron Paul, the champion of the US Constitution, the champion of liberty, the champion of peace. Like, if you listen to his message during the 2020 during 2012, I mean, he Dr. Ron Paul didn't want the US to go to war with the Middle East. We should have just pulled all of our resources, the armed forces, back into the US. We spent so much lives, so much money. It's ridiculous, right? And even to now, I don't know how old he is, but he has a YouTube channel, and his message always been the same and very consistent. Because politicians, they come, they go. Sure, you might say Trump is a businessman, he's not a politician. I thought the same way. He was the only one that I voted in 2016, and then I became a US national, and now seeing the whole picture of what's going on, I just that is the reason why I don't talk about politics anymore. Because if you're not in the inner circle, then you probably don't know anything. You listen to influencers, you listen to the news, you listen to. At the end of the day, we operate on propaganda. We hate each other because of propaganda. And the reason why the people are divided, because it is easier to control them. And that is why you know, I raise my concerns about privacy, because it is being abused, right? Like during COVID, we've seen what happened, and imagine all of your information being uploaded. If you should watch Minority Report, my friend, watch Minority Report, Equilibrium, iRobots. Those are just some of the movies to kind of give you even The Matrix, right? The Matrix took me a while. I think I watched that thing like 3 times because at first I didn't get it. I was like, man. And the fact that the first Matrix came out, the second came out, the third one, but it was, there was a gap. And when I watch movie, I mean, I like to watch the beginning and the end, and that's it. I don't want the continuation because I forget, and I kind of lose my interest. So, oh, hello there, one person. I kind of lose my interest after the waiting period. But those are some of the movies that, my friend, that you can watch, and that is why I raise my privacy concern. The other thing is, if you ever look at your credit reports, like I've done this in the past, right? Because when you request your credit reports from the credit bureaus, all of the transaction, when I looked at it, I'm actually surprised because some of the transaction I don't even remember, and I was like, wow, imagine people have access to this data. Nowadays, we go on social media, we just give it away for free. Sure, I talk I talk about privacy, but my life is public. I am a content creator. Certain things I want to keep private, but most of my life are public, but some part of my life I want to keep private. Like for example, where I am. I don't want you to know where I am when I go on a date. I don't want you to know who I'm going with, or where I'm going to be at. I want privacy. We all want privacy. To say that, oh, I don't care about privacy, I don't care about personal data, that's kind of like saying, okay, so at any time you want to be surveilled. So that is why, you know, I I raise my concern, but then I'm very optimistic about technology, about the future, because there are apps out there are people out there are technologies out there that can balance the playing field. So that's where we're at, and that is why Pumpfun live stream is going to be great if we have good people that want to move the space forward. And then for the people, for the founder, if they want to make money, on board good creators, because we will make you money whether you're in a bull market or a bear market, right? And then for the I know we gotta have different personalities on all platforms, because humans are like that. We're good at certain things, right? We're different. And but don't promote degeneracy. Like, when you run a company, focus on the people that are bringing value to the space. So, my friend, wow, I actually spoke for an hour and 10 minutes by myself. There were one or two people that popped in, but they left. But anyway, that is where I stand. You, maybe the next live stream, if you watch this live stream, you have any questions, any concerns, let me know. Holla at your boy, and I will see you in the next live stream. For me, I will watch this live stream. I usually watch my video so that I can improve. Uh, Believe it or not, all of the videos that I've made up to this point, sometimes when I go back and I watch them, it is very motivational. motivational in a sense where life is not going to be perfect. When you go on this journey, there's going to be ups and there's going to be down. The only person that's going to elevate you is yourself. And sometimes these videos, they actually help. And I also go back and watch them because I can learn about the way that I speak, the topic that I speak about. What are some of the pros? What are some of the cons? How can I improve on my video? But most of all, I try to focus on the value, not too much of the video editing in future videos. You're not going to see any of the video editing. Pretty much is going to be a straight shot. There's no the funny con, the sarcastic con, the mean con. It's just going to be con with the camera, and you'll see the whole thing. Because I feel like at first it was cringy. I didn't know what to say. Then, I wanted to add the video editing to show you the different part of con. But now it gets to the point where like I just do it. I go on there, like I have a topic, I know what I'm talking about, and then what kind of value I'm bringing. So the focus is more on that. Plus, shooting with the DJI 4K, 25 frame per second. At this point, I can convert the video to 720p and then edit it and then convert it back to 4K, but it takes a lot of time. I'd rather you see the straight up con. Uh, and I like it that way because you improve over time. Okay, my friend, it was a pleasant. If you're not here, you're not here, but you can always rewatch or you can always watch the live chat, not the live chat, the live stream, because it is public. I treat it as like me making a video. So let me know if you have any questions. Uh, okay, my friend, I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next live stream. End stream.